imagine how much pain you feel when a man cuts off one of your fingers. Then imagine how much more pain will you feel when another finger is cut from your hand. Then imagine the pain you will feel when a third finger is cut. Is it different from the pain that you feel when the first finger was cut? Imagine the pain that you will feel when the fourth finger is cut. Is it different from the pain you felt when the first finger was cut? Is it different from the pain that you felt when the second finger was cut? Is it different from the pain that you felt when the third finger was cut? Imagine if the fifth finger, which is the thumb, is cut. Just imagine the pain. Is it different from the pain that you feel when the first finger was cut? Is it different from the pain that you felt when the second finger was cut? Was the pain that you feel when the fourth finger was cut different from the pain that you feel when the thumb was cut? Then imagine if salt and chili is rubbed on your wound, on your bleeding hand. Will that pain be worse than the pain you felt when the hands were cut without the salt and chili rubbed on your hand? Then imagine if your hand is chopped off. Will the pain be more than the pain you felt when the first finger was chopped? Will the pain of having your hand chopped off be worse than the pain you felt when the second finger was chopped? Will the pain of having your hand cut off be worse than the pain you felt when the third finger was cut? Just imagine, try to imagine the pain you feel when the mosquito bites you. Imagine the pain you feel when you're stung by a bee. Is that more painful than the pain you feel when your hand is cut? Then imagine if your whole arm is cut. Is the pain worse than when your hand is cut? Is the pain worse than when your fingers are cut? Then imagine if the first finger is cut from the second hand. Will the pain be more than when the pain you feel when the first finger was cut, or the arm was cut, or the hand was cut? Imagine if you cut the second finger, will the pain be worse than the pain you were feeling? Just imagine now the excruciating pain, the agony you will be under. Will that be worse than when your third finger from the second hand is cut? Will the pain be more or less than the pain you felt when your whole arm was cut? Just imagine, think about the pain, and tell me how you feel. Won't you wish you are dead? Won't you pray that you are dead? Won't you try to kill yourself just to escape from the pain? Imagine if they cut you limb by limb until they cut the second hand. Imagine if they cut your toes one by one. Will the pain be worse for the toe to be cut than for the hand to be cut? Won't you pray that you are dead? Won't you wish you are dead? Today, we see young Africans drowning at the Mediterranean Sea, trying to reach Europe, longing to reach Europe. They believe that Europe is like their heaven. They long for Europe more than they long for heaven. Even when they are dying, they keep on trying. They keep on crossing the Mediterranean. Some people across the Sinai Desert, they are being killed when their families are all pay ransom. They have been killed and their body parts are sold. But still they go. What is there in Europe which is not in Africa? In Africa, they want to escape poverty because poverty is slow death. Poverty is like having your hands cut, your limbs cut off one by one. Poverty is like having your wounds being submerged to chilies, being rubbed in chilies and salt. Poverty is slow death. Poverty is slow poison. That's why people escape. That's why people risk their lives to escape from Africa, where there's poverty. But now, there's something that is amazing, something surprising. There are young men and women who are leaving America and Europe to join ISIS. What is then the question becomes, what is it that ISIS have which Europe does not have? What is it that ISIS have which America does not have? That is the question. Because that which ISIS have which America does not have is that which America has which Africa does not have. It is freedom. Africans try to escape poverty from Africa to Europe. And those Europeans who are leaving Europe to join ISIS are escaping poverty also. Because poverty is slow death. Poverty is like having your limbs being chopped off one by one. Poverty is like having your wound being rubbed in salt and chilies. The question is, why are people poor in Europe? It is the same reason why people are poor in Africa. There are rich people in Africa. There are billionaires in Africa. But those billionaires are thieves. They steal from the workers, and workers become poor. Workers die in poverty. It is the same system that is used in Europe. There is a lot of money, but it is with the employers. It is with the financiers. The rest of the people are workers, and workers are poor. Workers are victims of theft. Workers are slaves. That is why people are escaping Europe to join ISIS, where the system or the structure of capitalism is not yet established. In ISIS, the structure of employment system is not yet established. In ISIS, the structure of socialism is not yet established. That is why people are attracted to ISIS. They are escaping poverty in Europe, the same way people are escaping poverty in Africa. The structure in Europe, the employment structure in Europe makes workers to be condemned to work. The economic structure of Europe condemns the clerks to be the children of the clerks to be clerks because they don't earn enough to send their children to school to learn to be scientists. The economic structure of Europe condemns the child of street sweepers to be street sweepers because they don't earn enough to send their children to learn to be doctors. People are escaping poverty in Europe. People are expecting hunger in Europe to join ISIS because the structure, the economic structure of ISIS is not capitalist. The economic structure is not employment system. And when the ISIS develops into a capitalist state, when ISIS develops into a communist state, when ISIS develops into a socialist state, when ISIS develops into a employment system, then those fighters are going to start cutting off the hands of their employers instead of cutting off the heads of the journalists. When the economic structure of ISIS becomes capitalistic, when the economic structure of ISIS becomes employment system, those fighters will turn against their employers and they will chop off their hands and stop chopping off the hands of the aid workers. Then they will realize that the enemy is not white people. The enemy is not Europeans. The enemy is the employers. The employers whom Africans are running away from Africa the same employers that are running away from Europe, then they will start cutting off their heads in in the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. When they start chopping off the heads of the employers, it is only then that ISIS will know freedom. When they start chopping off the heads of the financiers, it is only that the people under the Islamic State of Syria and the Levant, of Iraq and the Levant, are going to enjoy the benefit of being free. When they start chopping off the heads of the employers, it's only that Islamic State of Iraq and Levant will succeed. It won't succeed by killing other workers, other slaves from Europe. It won't succeed by killing other slaves from America, because the employers in America and Europe don't care when black people die. The employers in America and Europe don't care when Chinese people die. The employers in America and Europe don't care when white people die. Employers in America and Europe don't care when any people of any color die. What they care about is stealing the Middle East oil. What they care about is stealing African minerals and oil. Therefore, it will only be when the fighters of Islamic State of Syria, Iraq and Syria realize that the enemy is not the other workers or slaves from other countries. The enemy is the employers. It is only when the Islamic State of Iraq and Levant start chopping off the hands of the employers that they are going to succeed.